So I want to talk a little bit about gambling. So there is this big fear and social norm that gambling is such a wrong uh, activity to take part in. I will say that I do totally agree that there is some problems that are associated with gambling. But first of all, I'm gonna say my theory, and then I will explain why I think it's right or wrong. So the idea is, when gambling is controlled, for example, when you spend $100 a month on gambling, let's say you go every time you spend $50 and you are good with it. You stick with this $50, you really don't spend more than that. If there is a problem with it, and my claim is there isn't any problem with it as long as it's maintained. Why? Any activity that you're doing, for example, you like to go eating in a restaurant every 2 weeks, that will possibly cost you around $50. Or you like to go kayaking, that can also cost you around $50. What exactly I chose $50? Because this amount is, of course, every person with his own values and expenses really depends. But for me, $50 is considered to be a normal or okay amount to spend on activity. So why does gambling cannot be considered to be a normal activity that we can do as something, as an attraction, something that is fun to do and we're doing? Why it has to be different than other activities? Why food considered to be, oh, okay, yeah, that's good to go go out to a restaurant every 2 weeks or so, but gambling, no, this is not good for you. This is not good for you. Even more than that, when you go eat, you put $50 and that's it, you're done. But unless when you go gambling, when you put $50, you might get returns, because sometimes you will. Of course, your odds to always get in with the returns are extremely low. Not extremely low, but are low because your odds against the house are lower. But sometimes, by definition, you will end up getting more money than what you invested. So you put $50, you go with $150. And this will never happen when you go to any kind of attraction or any kind of activity you are doing. You'll never get money back. So there is even an advantage with gambling, basically. Now, you can say a counter argument. You can say, okay, yeah, but gambling is addictive. Gambling, you start with $50 and you can go up from there. So first of all, there is two ways to refute this counter argument. First of all, yes, gambling might be addictive, but food isn't? Food, you might also get addicted to go to food. You got addicted. Food is in general an addictive substance, and you can get addicted to it, and many people are. Look about what the obesity around everywhere. So you can get addictive, which means that you can go every week, or you can go twice a week, or you can buy even more expensive food. So you can theoretically spend more money. Another refutation is that of course, it is need to be controlled. I'm not saying when it can be. When it's not controlled, when the gambling is not controlled, it might develop to be a problem. But as long as you know yourself and you know your limits, yes, you can also say, you can always get addicted to so many things in life. which we're not. And some people are totally okay with gambling every once in a while. So why? And there is also genetic ideas or genetic influences on the people. So more people are more prone to gamble, and more prone to not to gamble, more prone to addictiveness, or their genetic genes are more addictive, you can say, and other people are not. So those people that are not addictive, they don't have addictive behaviors, they don't have addictive tendencies. Why those people are being punished with them liking gambling? They like gambling, and social norms tell them that they're doing something wrong. And what I'm saying is, why is it like that? They can control their urges. They don't have to. They can gamble every month or twice a month, and they're not gonna spend more than $50. Maybe once a year they will fall and spend $100, $150, but the same thing is happening with any other activity that you're doing. Every once in a while you go to a more expensive restaurant, or every once in a while, once a year or twice a year, you will go do like a crazy kayaking trip that will cost you $300. So that's totally okay if you, as long as you're maintaining the as long as you manage to maintain your level of addictiveness. And that's the main idea why gambling, I think, should be okay. Again, really depends. So I'm not saying that gambling is okay to everyone. So it depends for who. As if you need to know yourself, and you possibly do know, if you can control it. And if you see it got out of control, don't make excuses to yourself. And if you see it's more than, so it should have a limit how much you spend. It should not be spent more than any other activities. So you can say, oh, but this is kind of an investment. No, this is not an investment, and this is not work. Some people consider gambling as work because sometimes they get money. So I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying we should take gambling, and we should see gambling as an activity, just like any other activity. It's fun. And then I should add to that why gambling is so good, or not good, but it's so fun. It's actually very fun, and maybe more, it depends for who, I guess, but maybe more than other activities. So that's a very fun activity to do. So why not to do that more often? And why not and why we're approaching this as such a bad idea for people to do? Again, it really depends to who, for who. Not everyone can do that, but not everyone can eat, or not everyone can do kayaking, or can do any kinds of activity that is addictive. There is many addictive activities that we're doing and cost money. So why we stuck specifically on the gambling as an issue? I know that many people have this issue, but not all people do, and should